Sorry.
Raphael.
I mean, honestly.
We can do this.
Come on, Raphael. Keep it down.
Hey, what's going on? We're back here with Fire Emblem Three Houses of and Assassin's Only Run, which we are going to do better on this time than we did the previous episode of this very series, in which I spent 3.5 hours and made that much progress. I shouldn't say that. We did the one training battle and got like 2 level ups. Or we're gonna have a tough time with this story mission, aren't we? No, we aren't, because it's the Remire Village one. It's gonna be totally easy. And I believe there is a certain red-eyed, scythe-wielding friend of ours who is can show up in this mission if you go to a certain part of the map. And I was wondering if it would be possible to take him out. Lysithea may not have access to Dark Spikes with the class we have her in, but she does have access to Soul Blade and some crit swords. So I was just wondering, like, what if we were just that particular breed of unwise and just threw ourselves at this man to get a crit with Soul Blade? It'd be kind of fun. / I totally forgot we have so many supports to get through, so sorry. Next episode is when we're gonna go to Remire Village. Oops, my mistake. I completely forgot how we had so many supports to do. It's a support theater episode. All right, Lawrence, what you gonna say this time?
Seems such a common activity for someone like you.
Wow, we're coming in really hostile.
To me, the most beautiful flower is the one that blossoms by its own strength. Lysithea, please accept this as...
Knock it off! Sorry. It's just that the thorns are a bit sharp, and I'm not a fan of killing nature.
True sympathy, even for the smallest wildflower. I admire your kindness. When you inherit your house, that kindness will be a balm to your subjects. They and the neighboring lords will trust you instinctively.
You know what? This one thing isn't his fault. He keeps bringing up her house, and it's like the worst thing he could do. But in fairness to him, he obviously would have no way of knowing.
Politics. Again.
The Alliance has been harmed in the past by lords who thought only of themselves, who saw others as a means to an end. But you understand others' pain. With you around, I am quite hopeful that the Alliance will flourish again.
That's not something you should get your hopes up about. House Ordelia will end with my father.
Whoa, interesting. She's straight... I don't remember this conversation at all. She's straight up just like telling him. I wonder how far she's gonna go in telling him. He's gonna be like, why? And she's gonna be like, because reasons.
I'm sorry? I understand you have a distaste for politics, but could you really allow a noble house 3 centuries old to fall to ruin? This goes beyond you and even your house. What would become of Fodlan if all its noble houses withered away in such a manner? The people would be in disarray. The balance of power would crumble. Chaos would rule.
It is bad, though, because now he's misinterpreted as she just kind of doesn't want to. And he's gone into lecture mode.
It's just... my body, unfortunately, is not built to last. And I have no siblings. When I die, that's the end.
What?
Noble birth has been nothing but a source of pain for me. For me, and for my parents. We got sucked into the rebellion in the Empire, and it led to many responsibilities for us. The things we went through. I can hardly bear to speak of it. All I want now is to give my mother and father the chance to live out their years in peace. I intend to do whatever I can to ease the hardships of our people, while I still have life left in me. Naturally, I worry about what will come to pass after I'm gone, but I'm sure things will work out, so long as there are people like you around working so hard for a better future.
So you have been thinking of the future, even despite all of that.
Yeah, man.
I am so sorry. I had no idea. Lysithea, I have offended you most persistently. Please find it in your heart to forgive my impudence.
Don't worry about it. If you're so insistent upon being my friend, I'm sure more tasty snacks and tea will help persuade me. But if speaking of the future holds such importance, better to find someone who actually has one.
I understand. Yes, let's take tea together again soon.
Damn, she got 100% real with him and just told him, I'm gonna die. You should focus your energy on someone else. That's bleak as hell. I mean, I have to imagine their A support then goes on to be slightly less depressing than that, but like at least she got honest with him and he actually took it really, really well. God damn, dude, that's heartbreaking. That's like one of the saddest lines I've ever heard. If the future is so important to talk about it with someone who has one. Jesus, man, why the first one gotta hit me in the feels like that? Petra and Cyril, please let this be funny.
Cyril, you are always having great passion and hard work. You give inspiration.
You get to reroll one failed skill check. Or roll it with advantage, or I don't remember how it works.
Aw, just doing my job.
There is no need for showing humility. You work with hardness. I mean, you work hard.
He said aw so like uncomfortably. He was like, ah, no.
It makes me have curiosity. Can you tell me what plans you hold for the future?
The future? I don't know anything about the future, but I'm kind of busy, so can we talk later?
Can you save it for someone who has one?
I have had the learning that you are from Elmira. Everyone has the saying that it may be hard to move up in the church for you. But even with that, you always have passion and work with hardness. What fills you with determination?
Playing around in the crinkly leaves.
I work because I work. It's what I do here. And, you know, I really want to make myself useful to Lady Rhea, so I can repay the big debt I owe her. Lady Rhea gave me a home when I didn't have one.
Well, you had a home, it just was... The circumstances of you living in that home were not good.
I understand the feeling of need for repaying debts. But does it give you difficulty being a great distance from your home for so much time?
Elmira's just where I was born. It's not like I've got family there. If you love your homeland and want to go back, then that's nice, but it's not a thing I want to do. I like where I am. The best future I can think of is if things stayed like this forever.
Yes, I have understanding. You and I have similarities. But at the similar time, we have differences.
Maybe. Hey, I still got a lot of work. Better get to it.
Cyril does not want to speak about his land of home? It gives me curiosity.
Oh, Petra, always the sympathetic one. That was sort of funny anyway. Didn't entirely wash my spirit of what happened with Isithia and Lawrence, but it was that was sweet and meaningful in its own way, and actually a really interesting point. It's something I've always actually kind of liked about Cyril's character, that, you know, he got like yoinked from his homeland and then was, I mean, to my understanding, literally enslaved once he came over here, and you would think that sort of person would be, or someone in that sort of situation, his first thought would be like, right, okay, not here, let's go back. But I don't know, I kind of, it's something I like about his character, that he's like, not going back's not gonna help. Like I'm doing better here, and I get the feeling here that like my hard work is actually helping, like I'm comfortable here, and that it's sort of his choice. Like you get a sense that he probably could go back if he wanted to, but he just doesn't. Anyway, Isithia, you got someone to talk about with someone that won't make me sad? Cod. He's just gonna tease you again. This will be kind of funny.
If we were to face an enemy on this terrain, I would go here, and you would go here.
As you can see from the map, that's very obviously detailed and on screen.
Hang on. If we're trying to repel the enemy, I should be positioned there, correct?
You should be here, she should be there, they should be in those woods there, and we should all be over there after that.
Huh? I'm not sure that's the best idea. Take
a closer look at this map that's on screen.
See, there's a graveyard over here. Might run into some of those ghosts you hate so much.
Claude, will you knock it off already? So help me. If you continue treating me like a child, I'll...
Easy there. I'm sorry, okay? Just don't start blasting off any spells in here.
She just soul blades and like cuts a beam that's supporting, like, it's a load-bearing pillar, one of these massive ones in the background. Severs it in twain.
I've more pride than to turn an unarmed soldier to cinders.
I'm sure pride's what's holding you back.
Speak to me as an equal when we're discussing matters as serious as this.
Actually, I see you as more than an equal. There's no questioning the power you wield. And I was being serious about the formation just now. The bit about the ghosts was just me having fun with you. Or trying to. You're so smart, I figured you'd catch on to that right away. But back to the formation. Can you see why I arranged it like I did?
I love Claude's chaotic bottom energy in this this chat. He's just like, makes fun of her, and then instantly is just like, oh, no, you're way stronger and smarter than me.
The area area I want you to guard requires the ability to adapt to an ever-changing situation. Who else could I trust with such a difficult
What he's
task?
saying is the enemies right there
You're
have
my
low
best
res.
bet for something like that.
Perhaps that's true.
Think back to the times we fought together. When have I ever treated you like a child on the battlefield?
What exactly would that look like, treating someone like a child on the battlefield? If there's a child on the battlefield, you get them off the battlefield.
I depend on you, Lysithea. I value your power almost as much as I do teaches.
I know he holds a lot of love and respect and admiration for Hoppy, so that is what he's saying there. But like, it really is like, I value you so much that I'm gonna make a comparison. Almost as much as I like you, almost as much as them.
Truly?
I swear to you on all of Fodlan, I'd like to have my fun, but I wouldn't joke about something like that. I consider you a valued ally. I'll stop now before I inevitably drift back into teasing you again. Just know that I meant every word, okay?
Of the teasing or of what you just said just now?
Fair enough then. From here forward, see to it that you treat me with the respect of an equal. And I admit that you are not short on talent yourself, but don't go getting a big head over it.
I mean, she basically just proposed to you, Claude. That's like the most you're gonna get out of her. Well, I probably shouldn't say that. I mean, considering what she said to Leone earlier. You probably no, Claude. You're not quite a. You would make an excellent life partner status, I suppose. Well, Cyril's got another one with Claude. Interesting. I'm gonna do both this and Claude though, because I really want to see this one. I've been looking forward to this one because I have not seen any of this.
Gonna pick up where we left off?
I most certainly imagine that he does not want to pick up where you left off. Claude, he's not wearing a shirt. If you poke him in the belly button, he'll double over and you can backflip out the window.
You'll have to kill time on your own, I'm afraid. My calendar's full at the moment.
Sorry, too busy.
Don't be. You're not afraid I'm gonna expose your true identity, are you? I would never.
True identity who? What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Besides, my own bloodline isn't so lofty that I can get away with something like that.
Especially not after you abandon it
I
all.
bet your father would just love to hear you say that. And the Albrecht family is from a distinguished noble house, so I'm not sure what you mean.
Not as distinguished as you would think. And my mom wasn't born a noble.
Ah, the plot thickens. So, your mother was a commoner then?
Alright, I see what's happening here. Balthus is starting to share a bit, and he's going to be like... Because he knows Claude, he knows he'll be able to like, alright, I shared someone with you, it's only fair if you share someone with me, and Claude will be like, fine.
In a sense, but it's complicated. Listen up, and I'll tell you a little story. You know Kupala, yeah? Those folks have been living in the mountains of Fodlan's throat for ages.
First I've heard of
I
it.
know it well. Tales of that place were carried on the wind to where I grew up. Here's my favorite. In a land surrounded by tall mountains, untouched by civilization, lies a hidden village. The people who live there, the mystical Kupala tribe. They say that an ancient and powerful bloodline runs through their veins to this very day.
Kupala kind of has almost like a sort of Indian sound to it, so I wonder if that's where the Vajra Mushti comes from.
Don't try to find them, people say, or you're liable to get hexed. Or so the tale goes. That part was probably added to spice up the story a bit, but even so, there's certainly a mysterious lot.
They don't leave their homeland too often, so it's only natural that strange rumors would arise.
And your mother, is she really some kind of Kupala princess or something?
Not a princess, but she was born and raised there. She left, got lost, and was rescued. By my dad.
Fun.
He fell head over heels for her. Made her his wife. That's when our troubles really started.
Did your father tell anyone where she was from?
Of course not. But it didn't matter. She was still a stranger of questionable lineage. The family treated her horribly. That eventually led to them splitting up and my dad remarrying.
This is starting to explain why, at least partially, why Balthus has such a negative impression of the responsibilities of this kind of life. And why he dipped.
That's not an uncommon circumstance for a noble house. Where is she now?
With nowhere else to turn, she went back to Kupala, even though my pops tried to convince her to stay.
I'm guessing you two left for much the same reason. Too hard to put up with the foul treatment, right?
That's part of it. If my mom had been Fodlan nobility, my life would have been very different. So, what do you think? Did I drum up some empathy?
Here it is.
After all, half of your blood comes from...
I hear you, Balthus. Can't say I don't empathize, though our circumstances are pretty different.
So you admit it then! I knew I was right about you. My instincts are second to none.
Your instincts, right. Look, if it makes you happy, you just go on believing whatever you want.
I'll do just that. Say, Claude, it'd be a shame if your true identity was exposed, yeah? real shame.
You just said you wouldn't. Why are you turning back on it?
Thinking you better set up a meeting between me and your mom? She was my first crush, after all.
He's taking the
I
piss.
had it bad for her back in the day. I'm still haunted by the fact that I never had the chance to tell her.
That's bothersome.
Well, he's not dead ass, is
And
he?
that aside, you do know that time didn't exactly stop for her, right?
Not a problem, pal. Age is beauty.
He better not be serious. If this ace support comes back, and then it's like Balthus getting back from a date with Claude's mom, I'm gonna laugh my ass off is what I'm gonna do, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what else I would do. Let's see the end, Raphael. I hit Catherine by mistake. I don't know what I'm doing.
It was so sunny
Sorry.
this morning, but now
It
it's
wasn't.
absolutely
Didn't have
pouring.
one with Raphael, actually.
Did you
Looks
hear
pretty
the
sunny to me
thunder
still.
just now? Good thing we got all the clothes indoors before the skies opened up.
I don't think Thunder Catherine would have been worried.
I apologize for troubling you with this task.
Don't worry about it. I was just passing by and thought I could help. I know how frustrating it is to have your newly dried clothes soaked by rain.
I imagine on the road you have that experience quite often.
What's wrong? We managed to keep all of the clothes dry, didn't we?
It's just odd. Every time it's my turn to wash the clothing, there's a sudden downpour. Surely it must just be an inconvenient coincidence. But I can't help feeling as though I'm somehow to blame for it.
Ah, I see. That probably is your fault.
Wow, you're even harsher than I am.
You have a crest of Karen, don't you?
I do, yes, but hold on a moment. How did you know that?
I can just tell. I have a crest of Karen too, and I've noticed that whenever I need dry weather, there's rain. Don't you think it's our crests making the rain fall upon us?
How had I never connected this? This is quite a revelation. A crest affecting the weather.
Present your thesis to Hanneman and you'll get into an advanced placement class. Graduate with honors in 1 year.
Well, I don't know how true it is. There are only the two of us, which is a pretty small sample of people.
I suppose that's true. So, we must test our hypothesis. Maybe we can find someone who tends to bring the sunshine around.
You mean
That
like
would be
Annette?
Especially handy for helping out with the wash.
Now there's an idea.
These two, I'm pretty sure I had seen their supports before, but it was a while back, so I forgot about it. Very interesting indeed. And I'm not 100% sure, but by the sound of it, if Catherine knows that Lysithea bears a crest of Karen, but is from House Ordelia, which is an offshoot of House Gloucester, right? Well, it must be because she has crest of Gloucester. Oh well, I don't know that she was a crest bearer before the experimentation. She might have, or I don't know if the crest of Gloucester was the one she had naturally, or if she didn't have any naturally, or what. Nevertheless, the fact that Catherine knows that she has a crest of Karen, when she is not from that house, suggests that she knows Lysithea's dual-crested nature. And I don't really remember how that ends up, if it does, if that ever culminates into anything. So, can't wait for that beat support as well. And that's a useful support that we have between these two. It's good that some of the church people like Catherine and such do have the odd support with people from the houses. So you can still work them into your party pretty well. Because of our main party, she's got 4 supports that are pretty solid right here. And that's, you only really need 3. And who's Raphael got one with? Oh, Claude again. Fun. Last time he helped us all right at dinner, so what's this time?
Time to rest.
Hey, Raphael. This scene, why is it oddly familiar?
It's almost like this stuff is drawn to me whenever I'm in town.
People look at me and then think I can carry stuff for some reason.
I'm just happy I can use my muscles to help out around here.
But isn't your goal to become a knight? Running errands isn't exactly a knight's job.
And I does whatever's needed of them.
I heard that proper knights always help those in
Yeah.
need. Isn't that right?
Well, you're not wrong, but I think most people would consider that only a small part of a knight's duty.
Yes, granted, no, most knights aren't like just glorified delivery
A
boys.
knight's main function is to fight and defend. Don't you think? That said, I'll agree that helping anyone and everyone who needs it makes you a remarkably virtuous person, which is even better.
If someone virtuous becomes a knight, they'll be a virtuous knight, right? That's about as proper as you can get.
Yes. I
You both are
suppose
wearing
so.
very confused expressions.
I, for one, would certainly look for virtue in any knight that I recruited.
So you're saying I'm the type of knight you want to hire for House Regan?
Absolutely. If I somehow actually manage to become the head of my house, that is. I can't see into the future, but you have my word that I'll do all I can to help make your dream a reality. That is, if you're actually able to let somebody help you out rather than helping out the whole world by yourself.
I'm not going to stop helping others. but you can do me all the favors you want. All this talk of being proper is making me hungry. For my first favor, why don't you bring me a snack?
Is that really where their chain ends? That was sort of sweet, but sort of unusual, too. They have a very interesting way of communicating with each other. They at once seem to understand each other perfectly and sort of not at all. Leonie and Catherine!
That's enough.
She's overdoing it with
You're
her
done
training
for
again.
today.
Right. Thanks.
She's gonna be like, I kept up with you! Just like she was with us.
Are you feeling pain anywhere, Leonie?
No. Sorry, I'm alright.
Why are you apologizing?
Because I can't hold my own against you. And on top of that, you have to worry about hurting me. I feel like I've let you down.
Do you know what I meant when I said, you're done for today?
Probably that I was about to keel over.
No, it wasn't about your physical strength. I could tell that you didn't have the will to keep fighting.
I've got plenty of will.
No matter what I do,
She said without meeting her gaze.
Isn't that what you were thinking? If you think you can't win, you won't. Perhaps you already knew that.
Good point.
But never assume that you'll win. That is, don't underestimate your foe.
Hold the preconception that you have about a 50-50 chance of victory and you'll be safest.
At all times, you have to keep a clear head to make split-second decisions. In battle, mistakes are deadly.
But I don't have a crest or a relic. How could I ever hope to beat you?
If you put it like that, I'll fight barehanded, and I won't use my crest.
Try me! 2 hands tied behind my back and doing a 3-legged race with Eloise.
Think you can win? Do your worst. Oh dear, I might have overdone it there.
Not a sound effect or anything, just like, it's just assumed that she punched Leonie through a wall.
But I believe in her. I would be doing her a disservice if I pulled any punches. It's Leonie after all.
Oh no, she did.
She'll be back on her feet and charging at me before I know it.
I would laugh if after that support there's just like a Leonie-shaped dent in the Knight's Hall, like the whole entails a Symphonia. And final support of the day, Claude and Cyril!
Hey there, Cyril. You're working hard as usual.
Nah, just doing my job.
Rhea herself gives you your daily tasks, doesn't she? The church employs a lot of people, but not too many of them can claim they get to speak with the Archbishop every day. You should be proud of yourself. She clearly values your work ethic.
Hey, is that everything you wanted to say? 'Cause I'm kinda busy here.
Actually, I was hoping to ask you about Rhea.
Which is why I buttered you up with a compliment
know
first.
About her, but I thought maybe you...
Yeah, I know more about Lady Rhea than anybody. But why should I tell you anything about her?
So cold. Think about who you're talking to.
Huh? What are you to me?
Heir to the next throne of the Alliance?
You don't know who I am?
Of course I do. You're Claude, House Leader of the Golden Deer.
That's not what I mean. Well, never mind then. Tell me, don't you ever miss your homeland?
Was he really saying, tell me because I'm part Almiran? Because I would have thought Claude would be shrewd enough to know that Cyril wouldn't have really given a shit.
Almyra?
Yes, Almyra. Judging by that expression, I'm guessing you're not terribly homesick.
Life was a whole lot harder for me there than it's ever been around here. My dad and mom died in the war, and there was nobody there to look after me. The king, he didn't do anything to help, so I had to survive by being smart. I had to stop being a kid real quick.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You don't have to apologize. It's not your fault.
Regardless of whose fault it is, I'm still sorry.
Well, it's sort of my fault.
I'm sorry that I didn't even know that an acquaintance of mine was. And sorry for asking a tactless question about your homeland. I should have known that it was likely to bring back bad memories.
Nah, I get sad or mad when I think about it, but I'm used to it, so...
I see that.
That's not
Even
good.
so, I apologize for being careless.
Okay, well, thanks, Claude. If the King of Almyra was like you, maybe things would have been better.
Aw.
Maybe the king's not a bad person and just had other stuff to worry about.
That may be also
That's
true.
not much of an excuse.
If I ever meet the King of Almyra, I'll give him a stern talking to on your behalf.
You use those words verbatim.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I gotta get back to work. Bunch of things to get done.
You really are on the other side now, aren't you? Huh. Well, if nothing else, it's good of you to turn a blind eye to me.
I don't know what that means. But... okay, bye, Claude.
You know, I guess it makes sense that at first I was like, Claude's being really weird. Why is he thinking that? But like, that would be super weird seeing Cyril that way. Claude has some amount of love and ties for both sides of his ancestry there. So to see Cyril, who is 100% Almiran, but got sort of shunted off to Fodlan, be like, I'm not going back there, that place sucked, would be really, really weird in his position. So I you know what, I get that now. We don't even know what level Rhea is. We don't even know if she has health or if she can move. We had a lot of very interesting ones. I forgot how many of the Golden Deer ones are like really, there's a word I'm looking for that I can't find, but because the Blue Lion ones are very much, because it's like they all need therapy and they're going to talk about it and work through their mental problems together and break down their society and explain why. And to be clear, I mean that in a good way, because I love their supports. Like Sylvain and Mercedes supports are one of my favorites. In the Black Eagles, it's like there's a lot of variety because you have people like Ferdinand and Hubert who are like at each other's throats about a worldview and politics and stuff like that. But then you have like Caspar and Linhart where it's like, go for the knees, Caspar! And it's kind of silly and fun. And the Deer are sort of like that too. I mean, like they all have some silly ones, obviously. Like Ash and Dimitri's are very silly. But I feel like the Deer have like a lot of really like intricate ones, I guess, where you've got Claude and Balthus where it's like they're playing this like back and forth game of riddling out the other's past. You got Lysithea, who's always kind of keep biting her tongue to try and keep from really opening up about her unique situation. You got Marianne, who cares a lot about the others, but is deathly afraid of getting close to anyone. And you got Lawrence, who kind of like bullheadedly rushes straight at everyone with his opinions, and then sometimes actually extracts some really meaningful truth from them, or immediately sees the repercussions of his actions and they shout at him. It's just a lot of really interesting stuff. Wow, man. Cyril really does have a lot of supports with the Deer, doesn't he? That was very interesting, though. Sorry, I completely forgot that we were doing that this episode, and I was all like, let's get ready to do the Remire mission. We'll be doing the Remire mission next time, but this was a lot of fun. So next video on the channel is going to be some more Pikmin 4, and that is all. So thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I will see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! Right, there are 4 floors. Got it. We got 5 of them. Almost half the treasures already. There's gotta be some scary monsters above us as well. There's the last floor. Treasure. I'm very interested in where this. Oh wait, now it's got cold. Oh man. What was this place called? The Frozen Inferno, right? An apt name. Gotta find that dry ice or whatever it is and smash it first. Fire starter basics. Hard to think fire.